20 must have items to stockpile before shelves go empty. Picture this, it's mid-December and your grocery store looks ransacked. No rice, no canned goods, no oils. The essentials? Vanished. Sound far-fetched? It's not. It's exactly what could happen this winter if you don't get ahead of the game right now. The signs are already here: rising prices, unpredictable shortages, and growing demand as everyone scrambles to prepare for the colder months. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down the 20 must-have grocery items you need to stockpile before it's too late. This isn't about panic, it's about being smart. Winter isn't just about snow and chilly mornings. It's also about supply disruptions, skyrocketing costs, and empty shelves when you least expect it. You think I'll just grab that next time? Guess what, there might not be a next time. These 20 items aren't just random things to throw in your cart. We're talking smart, strategic buys, foods that last, feed you well, and won't crumble under tough conditions. We'll tell you what they are, why you need them, and even some clever hacks to stretch them further so you're not wasting money or throwing anything away. Stick with us to the end, because this is about more than just hoarding supplies. It's about preparing wisely and making your life easier when things get hard. You'll thank yourself later when others are scrambling to find basics, and you've got exactly what you need. If you're new here, don't just watch and leave. Hit that subscribe button, smash the bell icon, and share this with anyone who needs a reality check on how to prepare for this winter. Alright, enough talk, time to get stocked up. Let's do this. 1. Rice and pasta. If you're not stockpiling rice and pasta, you're already setting yourself up for failure. These two are absolute staples, and here's why they need to be the first things on your list. They're dirt cheap, they last forever if you store them right, and they're insanely versatile. Trust me, when grocery shelves are picked clean, you're going to be glad you have bags of rice and boxes of pasta stashed away. Rice, specifically white rice, is basically a survival goldmine. Properly stored, it can last up to 30 years. Yes, you heard that right, minus 30 years. All it needs is an airtight container, or better yet, Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and it's good to go. Keep it in a cool, dark place, and you've got decades of reliable food at your fingertips. Pasta? It's no slouch either. It'll hold up for about 10 years when stored properly, and it's quick to whip up when you need a meal fast. You won't be standing in your kitchen wondering what to cook when shelves are empty. Just boil some water, and you're set. Here's the thing, both rice and pasta are calorie-dense. That means they'll fill you up and keep you energized, even when the weather gets brutal and you're burning extra calories just to stay warm. They're also ridiculously flexible. Rice works with anything: hearty stews, stir-fries, or even as a base for whatever canned goods you've got stocked up. Pasta. It's your go-to for casseroles, soups, or a simple sauce. Translation: they keep meal fatigue at bay when options are slim. 2. Dried beans and lentils. If dried beans and lentils aren't on your stockpile list, you're making a huge mistake. These pantry powerhouses are some of the cheapest, longest-lasting, and most nutritious foods you can store, and yet they're criminally underrated. Want to survive supply shortages, rising prices, or emergencies? Then beans and lentils need to be front and center in your stash. First off, they're packed with protein and fiber. Translation: they fill you up, give you energy, and keep you going when food is scarce. Unlike your overpriced, overprocessed quick meals, beans and lentils actually offer real, sustaining nutrition. And they're not just about survival, they're versatile. Toss them into soups, stews, casseroles, or even make them the star of the show in a hearty standalone dish. They work with pretty much anything, so you won't get bored while living off your stockpile. But here's the kicker: you're not throwing your money away, because these babies last forever. Stored correctly in an airtight container, they'll stay good for 10 years or more. That's right, a full decade without spoiling. Just keep them in a cool, dry spot and forget about wasting food or money. Lentils are even better because they cook faster than beans, which means you'll save on 2 critical resources during tough times: fuel and water. And unlike a lot of other protein-heavy foods, they don't need refrigeration. The best part? They're dirt cheap. No excuses, stock up now. When the grocery shelves are barren, you'll thank yourself for having these shelf-stable nutrition bombs on hand. Don't overthink it. Just go out, buy a variety, and prep them for long-term storage. Skip dried beans and lentils, and you're asking to regret it later. 3. Instant potatoes and grains like oats. If instant potatoes and oats aren't in your prep stash, what are you even doing? These aren't flashy, but when shelves go empty, they're lifesavers. Lightweight, shelf-stable, and ridiculously practical. These are two staples you can't afford to skip if you're serious about riding out supply chain chaos or emergencies without losing your mind or your meals. First up, instant potatoes. These flaky little wonders are more than just a quick side dish. With just hot water, you've got a filling base for any meal. Hungry? Boom! Mashed potatoes in minutes. Need a thickener for soup or stew. Instant potatoes have your back. Want to stretch a casserole into something hearty and comforting? They'll do that too. Plus, they're ridiculously easy to store. Airtight containers will keep them safe from moisture and pests, so they're ready when you are, and they'll last for years if you store them right. Now, oats. Think beyond boring breakfast. Sure, they make a solid bowl of porridge, but that's just the start. You can turn oats into granola, bake them into energy bars, or even use them in savory dishes. Packed with fiber and slow-release carbs, they'll keep you energized and full when you need it most. And just like instant potatoes, oats store easily and last a long time. That means no scrambling for food when grocery aisles are picked clean. Better yet, these basics don't need a ton of cooking perfect when fuel, power, or time is short. Stop underestimating these pantry MVPs. Go stock up on instant potatoes and oats now. Store them airtight in a cool, dry spot to keep them fresh for the long haul. Skip them, and you're going to miss out on easy, versatile, and reliable food that'll keep you going when the going gets tough. 4. Honey and sugar. Let's get real. If you're not stocking honey and sugar, you're doing it wrong. They might seem basic, but these two are absolute heavyweights in any emergency stash. First up, honey. This stuff is practically immortal. No joke, archaeologists found honey in ancient tombs that's thousands of years old and still good to eat. Why? Because honey is a natural preservative. Its low water content and high acidity make it impossible for bacteria to grow. Translation? If stored right, it literally never goes bad. And honey isn't just about sweetness, it's a multitasker. Got a cut or scrape? Honey's antibacterial properties can help heal it. Feeling run down? A spoonful in tea can soothe your throat and boost your energy. Whether you're spreading it on bread, sweetening oatmeal, or using it for first aid, honey is the MVP of your stockpile. Now, sugar. You might think of it as simple, but it's essential. It's a quick source of energy, sure, but it's also key for preserving other foods. No sugar? Say goodbye to jams, jellies, or canned fruits. Plus, like honey, sugar has an indefinite shelf life if stored properly. That means airtight containers to keep moisture and pests out. No funky smells, no weird clumps, just sweetness on demand. And don't underestimate the psychological boost of having something sweet when things get rough. A little sugar or honey can go a long way in keeping spirits high when times get tough. Remember, it's not just about survival, it's about making hard times a little easier. Stock up on these pantry powerhouses now. Because once the shelves are cleared, you'll regret ignoring the simplest, most useful items out there. 5. Cooking oils. Listen up, if cooking oils like coconut oil and ghee aren't already on your stockpile list, you're doing it all wrong. These aren't just pantry staples, they're survival essentials. First, coconut oil. This miraculous oil is practically built for long-term storage. With a shelf life of up to 2 years or even longer if you stash it in a cool, dark spot, it's hands down one of the most dependable fats you can stock. Plus, it doesn't just cook your food, it's a multitasking powerhouse. Use it as a butter substitute, a frying oil, or even to moisturize your skin. Feeling fancy? It doubles as an antiseptic in a pinch. More importantly, it holds up under heat without breaking down, making it an MVP in frying, baking, or sautéing. Next up, ghee or clarified butter. If you've never stocked ghee before, now's the time to start. Not only is it delicious and rich, but it also lasts forever. We're talking up to 30 years if unopened. That's right, minus 30 years of buttery goodness with no refrigeration required. With its high smoke point, ghee is perfect for high heat cooking, and it's loaded with vitamins like a D, E, and K. Plus, it stores easily in airtight containers, making it the ultimate long-term fat buddy in case of emergencies. Both coconut oil and ghee are shelf-stable and versatile, and they'll be lifesavers when fresh options vanish from the stores. You'll need these for cooking, energy, and even morale. Forget them, and you might just find yourself scraping the bottom of the pot when things get rough. Stock up now, because once the shortage hits, these kitchen gold mines will disappear faster than you can say out of stock. Get them while you can. 6. Baking essentials: flour, yeast, baking powder. If you think you can ride out a crisis without baking essentials like flour, yeast, and baking powder, think again. These are non-negotiables. You're not just stocking up on ingredients here, you're securing the ability to make hearty, comforting meals that could keep you and your family going when everything else is gone. First, flour. This staple is the foundation of so many foods: bread, pancakes, tortillas, biscuits, you name it. Properly stored in a cool, dry place, flour has a decent shelf life. But if you're serious about stockpiling, invest in airtight containers or vacuum seal it to make it last even longer. Trust me, when store shelves are bare, you'll be glad you grabbed that 10-pound bag. Now, yeast. If you want bread with some fluff and more filling power, yeast is your best friend. Active dry or instant yeast can last for months longer if you stash it in your fridge or freezer. Don't underestimate how important this little ingredient is. Without it, you're stuck with flatbreads, which are fine but nowhere near as satisfying or versatile. When the power's out and you're baking in a pinch, yeast turns basic ingredients into a real meal. And don't skip baking powder. This is your go-to for quick breads, muffins, and pancakes when you don't have time to wait for yeast to rise. Just make sure it's stored properly in a dry, sealed container because it doesn't last forever. A stale can of baking powder is as useless as no powder at all. Skip these baking basics and you're asking for trouble. Want to rely on store-bought bread or baked goods during a shortage? Yeah, good luck with that. Stock up now, because when the shelves are empty, you'll be kicking yourself for not being prepared to bake your own. 7 freeze-dried and dehydrated meals. If you're not stocking up on freeze-dried and dehydrated meals, you're setting yourself up for failure. These aren't just for hikers and campers, they're survival gold. Why? First off, these meals are built for the long haul. We're talking 25 to 30 years of shelf life if you store them right. That means once you buy them, you can basically forget about them until the day you need them. And when that day comes, you'll be glad you planned ahead. Here's the kicker: these meals are ridiculously easy to prepare. Got hot water? That's all it takes. Pour it in, stir, wait a few minutes, and boom, a legit hot meal ready to go. No dirty pots, no complicated instructions, and no standing over a stove wasting fuel you can't spare. Plus, the variety is insane. Everything from beef stew to cheesy pasta, even breakfast options like scrambled eggs. When you're in a crisis, the last thing you want is meal fatigue. These meals make sure you're still eating delicious, comforting food when the world's turned upside down. Don't underestimate the tech behind freeze-drying either. Unlike plain dehydrated food, freeze-dried meals keep more of their taste, texture, and nutrients. You're not stuck with a grainy, flavorless mess like with some dried-out survival foods. These actually resemble real food when you rehydrate them, and that's an absolute game-changer during tough times. On top of all that, they're lightweight and take up minimal space. Stock a full pantry with these and still have room to spare. And since many come in individual portions, you avoid waste, which is crucial when resources are tight. Just keep them in a cool, dry place, you know the drill, and they'll be ready when your family needs them most. Ignore these at your own risk, because when stores are cleaned out, these meals will feel like winning the lottery. 8. Vinegar and baking soda. If vinegar and baking soda aren't on your stockpile list, what are you waiting for? These two are the ultimate multitaskers, and in an emergency, they'll do more heavy lifting than most of the overpriced junk people panic buy. First off, vinegar, preferably white vinegar, is a miracle liquid. With an almost indefinite shelf life, it's not just a pantry item, it's your go-to for cleaning, disinfecting, and even preserving food. Got funky smells? Stains? Need to sanitize surfaces? Vinegar's got you covered. It can also double as an ingredient in cooking when you need acidity but don't have lemons lying around. And if you're dealing with pesky skin irritations, vinegar's there to help soothe that too. Then there's baking soda. This stuff might look unassuming, but don't be fooled, it's a powerhouse. Properly stored in an airtight container, it'll last you for years. Yes, you need it for baking, but it does way more than keep muffins fluffy. Baking soda is your answer for deodorizing the fridge that's been out of power, scrubbing grime off surfaces, or even putting out those small grease fires that might pop up in a pinch. Feeling queasy? Baking soda in water can help calm an upset stomach when meds aren't an option. Now combine the two, and you've unlocked DI-level genius. Together, vinegar and baking soda can take on everything from clogged drains to scrubbing your cookware clean. Why bother hoarding 20 different overpriced cleaning products when these two can handle it all? They cost next to nothing, take up minimal space, and will save your butt when modern conveniences aren't an option. Stockpile them now, because once they're gone, you'll be stuck with expensive, complicated alternatives, or worse, nothing at all. Trust me, these humble household staples are a prepper's best friend. 9. Nuts and seeds. If you're overlooking nuts and seeds in your stockpile, you're setting yourself up for failure. These little powerhouses pack a serious punch when it comes to nutrition and practicality. High in healthy fats, protein, and fiber, they'll keep you energized and full when food is scarce. Think about it, a handful of almonds or sunflower seeds can deliver omega-3s, antioxidants, vitamins, and even immune-boosting properties. Compare that to some empty-calorie junk, and it's not even a contest. Nuts and seeds last way longer than most perishable protein sources. Proper storage is key here. Keep them in airtight containers and stash them in a cool, dark spot. Want to stretch their shelf life even further? Freeze them. Done right, they'll last a year or more. And when chaos hits, you'll thank past you for being smart about it. Forget refrigeration-dependent proteins. These are your no-brainer emergency snack. What's great is their versatility. Need a quick snack? Done. Want to jazz up your boring oatmeal? Toss some walnuts or chia seeds in there? Need an extra dose of nutrients in your soup or stew? Mix in some pumpkin seeds. They're basically the Swiss Army knives of food, pulling double duty in flavor and function. Here's the deal: stock up on a mix of nuts and seeds now. Almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, whatever. Because trust me, when the shelves are empty and the protein-packed foods are long gone, you'll be the one with an edge. These nutrient-dense staples keep you strong, full, and functional when life hits the fan. Don't sleep on these. Prepare now or risk being stuck with nutrient-deficient options no one wants. 10. Emergency food bars and rations. If you don't have emergency food bars and rations in your stockpile, you're doing it wrong. These aren't your average snacks, they're built for survival. Compact, durable, and loaded with the essentials, these bars are designed to keep you going when everything else grinds to a halt. The best part? They have a shelf life that laughs in the face of ordinary foods, 5 years or more if stored right. They're built to handle whatever comes their way, from scorching heat to freezing cold, all while maintaining their nutritional value. Emergency rations pack a balance of proteins, fats, and carbs. They're engineered for sustained energy release, so you're not crashing mid-crisis. Plus, they're pre-packaged to resist contamination, making them perfect for chaotic situations. Unlike salty snacks that'll have you guzzling water which you can't afford to waste, these are low sodium, keeping thirst in check. Here's why this matters. When the power's out, supplies are cut off, or chaos reigns, these bars give you peace of mind. Whether it's a natural disaster, a grid failure, or worse, you'll have reliable food ready to go. They don't take up much space, they're basically indestructible, and they deliver exactly what you need to stay sharp and strong. Store them in a cool, dry spot, and you're good to go. But don't wait once everyone starts panic buying. These lifesavers will vanish fast. Stock up now, because when the shelves are empty, you'll be wishing you had. 11. Water and electrolyte mixes. Without water, you're done, end of story. It's the one thing you cannot afford to overlook in your stockpile. You've probably heard the rule: 1 gallon per person per day for drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene. But here's the reality. A gallon per day adds up fast, especially if you've got a family. That's a lot of storage space and planning, but it's non-negotiable. And don't forget to rotate your water supply every 6 months, or you'll be stuck with stale, potentially unsafe water when you need it most. But here's the trick: most people overlook stocking water isn't enough. You also need electrolyte mixes. Emergencies are stressful, and stress takes a toll on your body. Electrolytes replenish the sodium, potassium, and magnesium your body burns through, especially if someone's sick or dehydrated. These aren't just for athletes, they're survival essentials when regular food and water sources are limited. Storage matters too. Keep your water in BPA-free containers, sealed tight and stashed in a cool, dark spot to avoid contamination. For electrolytes, skip the bulky liquid versions. Go for powders, they save space, they're easier to store, and they last longer. Tuck those packets away in a dry place, and you're covered. Here's the blunt truth: when the taps stop running and dehydration starts creeping in, there's no substitute for being prepared. You can't survive without water, and electrolytes take your game plan to the next level. Stock up now while you still can, because if the shelves go empty, the unprepared won't stand a chance. 12. Canned vegetables and fruits. If you're not stocking up on canned vegetables and fruits, you're making a serious mistake. These aren't just nice-to-have items, they're survival essentials. Fresh produce? Forget about it. Once it's gone, it's gone. Canned veggies and fruits are the backup plan that doesn't fail. Packed with vitamins, minerals, and energy, they're the reliable nutritional source you'll need when the grocery shelves are wiped clean. Here's the cold, hard truth: canned produce lasts. Properly stored in a cool, dark place, These cans are good for years. No refrigeration needed, no worrying about spoiling during a power outage. That's everything you want in an emergency food supply. And don't even think about tossing the liquid they're packed in. It's basically liquid gold. That brine or juice is loaded with nutrients. Use it in soups, stews, or even to cook rice or pasta, and you squeeze every ounce of value out of that can. Stick to the basics. Canned tomatoes, corn, green beans, peaches, and pineapples are your best bets. They're versatile, loaded with vitamins like A and C, and work across a ton of recipes. If you can, grab the low-sodium versions. Not only are they better for your health, but you also control the flavor when cooking. Here's the bottom line: canned fruits and vegetables aren't just about keeping variety in your meals. They're about staying healthy and prepared for whatever chaos comes next. Stockpile them now, or you'll be the one scrambling when the fresh stuff disappears. And trust me, that's not a position you want to be in. 13 canned meat and fish, like tuna. If canned meat and fish aren't on your stockpile list, you're completely missing the mark. These aren't just nice extras, they're survival necessities. When fresh food vanishes, canned options like tuna, salmon, chicken, or even Spam become your lifeline. They pack the protein, fats, and nutrients your body craves when the going gets tough. Canned fish, in particular, is a double win. Not only does it give you protein, but it's loaded with omega-3s, the kind of brain-boosting nutrients you're not getting from rice and beans. Here's the reality check: these little cans are shelf champions, lasting a solid 5 years or more when stored right. All they need is a cool, dry spot, and they'll have your back in a crisis. Plus, they're pre-cooked. No heat, no problem. Crack open the can and you're good to go. They're the kind of thing that keeps you on your feet when the power's out or supplies are running low. And it doesn't stop there. Canned chicken is perfect for pumping up soups or stews. Canned tuna? Mix it into pasta for a hearty meal in seconds. With these in your arsenal, you avoid meal fatigue, a serious issue no one thinks about until they're stuck eating the same thing for days. Here's the bottom line. Don't wait until the shelves are empty to realize you should have loaded up on canned meat and fish. Get stocked now, because when the fresh stuff is gone, this is the protein powerhouse that could keep you in the game. 14 powdered and evaporated milk. If powdered and evaporated milk aren't on your stockpile list, you're setting yourself up for failure. These dairy alternatives are absolute lifesavers when fresh milk is out of reach. Powdered milk, stripped of water and packed for survival, can last for years when stored properly. It's shelf-stable and doesn't need refrigeration, making it the perfect go-to in an emergency. Just add water, and boom, you've got milk ready for drinking, cooking, or even baking. Need calcium or protein? Powdered milk has you covered without expiry dates breathing down your neck. Then there's evaporated milk, and don't underestimate it. Think of it as milk's richer, creamier cousin with 60% of the water removed. Not only does it last longer than fresh milk, but it's incredibly versatile. Use it in baking to get that extra richness in cookies or cakes, or dilute it for recipes that call for regular milk. It even transforms bland soups and sauces into something more satisfying. Here's the trick: both powdered and evaporated milk pull double duty. Powdered milk can make homemade yogurt or serve as a quick addition for tea and coffee. Evaporated milk? It upgrades your morning brew or turns basic ingredients into comfort food when it matters most. Store them in cool, dry places, and you'll have reliable dairy when everyone else is panicking about empty fridges. The takeaway is simple: don't wait for an outage or supply crisis to realize how valuable these are. Stockpile them now, because when fresh milk is a memory, these versatile options are what will keep your family fed and comforted. 15 peanut butter or nut butter. If you're not stocking up on peanut butter or any nut butter, you're dropping the ball big time. This isn't just a snack, it's a survival essential. Peanut butter is packed with protein, healthy fats, and enough calories to keep you going when food options are slim. And here's the kicker: it lasts forever. Okay, not literally forever, but its shelf life is long enough to make it a no-brainer for any emergency pantry. Store it in a cool, dark spot, and you're set for years. No fridge? No problem. Even after opening, it doesn't need refrigeration, which is a game changer when the power's out or you're roughing it. And its versatility: unreal. Spread it on bread, stir it into oatmeal, or bake it into cookies. You can even grab a spoon and eat it straight from the jar. You won't regret it. During stressful times, peanut butter is more than fuel, it's comfort. It tastes like a little piece of normal, which, trust me, you'll need when things are anything but. And don't limit yourself. Whether it's almond butter, cashew butter, or the classic peanut butter, they all do the job. These jars are compact, nutrient-dense, and ready to deliver when you hit a rough patch. The bottom line, nut butter is pure preparedness in a jar. Stock up now, or you'll be kicking yourself when the shelves are bare, and all that's left is regret. 16. Salt and seasonings. If you're overlooking salt and seasonings in your stockpile, you're making a rookie mistake. Salt isn't just a flavor booster, it's a survival essential. For centuries, it's been the go-to for keeping food from rotting. It has an indefinite shelf life, works wonders for curing meat, making brines, and keeping perishables edible way longer than they should be. And trust me, when your fridge is useless, salt could be your biggest lifesaver. But don't stop there. Stock up on spices and seasonings too. Think pepper, garlic powder, chili flakes, oregano, whatever you like. These might sound like luxuries now, but when you're down to rice and beans, a sprinkle of seasoning can make the difference between edible. And I can't choke this down anymore. It's not just about taste, it's about keeping your morale up when the world feels like it's falling apart. Here's the deal: spices store well for years in a cool, dark spot. They're light, cheap, and add endless variety to even the plainest meals. Don't wait until the shelves are cleaned out to realize how valuable these little jars are. Stockpile them now, because bland food and bad moods are a recipe for disaster. 17. Bouillon cubes or powder. If bouillon cubes or powder aren't part of your stockpile, you're doing it wrong. These tiny powerhouses are the ultimate meal savers. 1 cube or a spoonful of powder is all it takes to transform boring, bland food into something you actually want to eat. Whether it's soups, stews, rice, or even pasta, bouillon adds that rich, savory kick that makes simple ingredients so much better. Here's the thing: they're insanely practical. Bouillon takes up almost no space, lasts for years, and packs a serious punch of flavor. Stored in a cool, dry spot, it's always ready when you need it. And don't underestimate the comfort of a hot, flavorful broth when times get tough, especially during those colder months. It'll warm you up, both physically and emotionally. The best part? These are dirt cheap and incredibly versatile. Use them to stretch basic ingredients, turn plain meals into something tasty, or even mix up a quick broth when you're short on time and resources. Stockpiling bouillon cubes or powder isn't just smart, it's essential. Skip them, and you're stuck eating plain, flavorless survival food while wishing you'd planned better. Don't make that mistake. Add them to your stockpile today. 18. Cocoa powder and instant coffee. If you're skipping out on cocoa powder and instant coffee in your stockpile, you're making life way harder than it needs to be. These aren't just luxuries, they're survival comforts that bring actual value when things go sideways. Cocoa powder, for starters, is more than a sweet treat. It's packed with antioxidants that can help boost your mood and give your health a little edge when stress levels are through the roof. Plus, its shelf life? Practically endless when stored properly. Add a scoop to hot water, some milk alternative, or even your oatmeal for a much-needed dose of normalcy. Then there's instant coffee, the undisputed MVP for staying alert and functional. Unlike your fancy ground coffee, sealed instant coffee can last for years without fading in taste or potency. When chaos takes over, that little caffeine kick can be a game changer. And for those coffee lovers out there, having a warm, familiar mug in hand is more than just a habit, it's a comfort ritual that can keep you anchored when the world feels out of control. Together, cocoa powder and instant coffee deliver way more than calories. They bring energy, calm, and a mental reset in every cup. Store them somewhere cool and dry, and they'll be ready when you need them most. Trust me, when the shelves are empty, you'll wish you had stocked up. 19. Canned soup and stews. If canned soups and stews aren't on your stockpile list, you're not prepping smart. These are more than just easy meals, they're lifesavers. Nutrient-packed and satisfying, they're the perfect option when you don't have time, energy, or even a working stove. Canned soups come fully cooked, so crack one open, and you've got instant survival food. No power, no problem. You can eat them straight out of the can if you must. And the shelf life? These can last 2 to 5 years when stored in cool, dry conditions, so you'll always have a meal ready. Want variety? Canned stews have you covered. From bold broths to hearty vegetables and proteins like chicken or beef, they're filling and keep hunger at bay longer than those snack foods people like to hoard. And here's a tip you'll thank us for later: don't throw out that broth. Use it as a base to flavor up rice or add some punch to pasta. It'll stretch your supplies and keep things tasting better than blah. Look, when the shelves are empty and you're staring at a long winter, a hot, filling meal is pure comfort. Don't wait until it's too late to grab a selection of canned soups and stews. They're cheap, versatile, and built to last. Stock up now, or you'll be kicking yourself when all that's left is overpriced junk food and regret. 20. Hard candy and chocolate bars. If you're ignoring hard candy and chocolate bars in your stockpile, you're seriously underestimating the power of small comforts. These aren't just guilty pleasures, they're survival tools wrapped in shiny foil. Hard candy has an absurdly long shelf life, practically lasting forever if you store it right. It's pure sugar, which means instant energy when you're dragging or need to stay focused. Got kids to calm down in a crisis? Hard candy works magic. Sore throat creeping up? Pop one of these in your mouth, and you're good to go. And chocolate bars? Don't even try to tell me they're not essential. Especially dark chocolate, that stuff isn't just tasty, it's packed with antioxidants to lower stress and keep your brain functioning when things feel like a total mess. It's also a solid source of quick fats and energy, which your body desperately needs to stay warm and moving in colder months. Pro tip: go for higher cocoa percentage, it lasts longer and is better for you than sugary milk chocolate. Here's the bottom line: you're going to want these morale-boosting treats when the world goes sideways. They take up no space, last for ages, and can literally be the difference between barely surviving and getting through with a smile. Stock up now, because when they disappear from the shelves, you'll wish you had been smarter about it.